Alright, alright. What's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, going to be taking a look at XLM against USDT. Going to be taking a look at some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be assessing some of the pivotal areas of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with in the very near future here. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you trade? Do you hold? Or do you let the price action unfold? What are you doing with your bag if you have one? Are you bullish on price action? Do you think we've found support and we're likely to rally upward, interact with this, 70 cent, 80 cents almost kind of swing high that we printed not too long ago? Or are we still bearish? Support has yet to be found and we have some more kind of downside ahead and perhaps some kind of prolonged accumulation. Let me know your thoughts on the direction of price action down in the comments. Jumping right into it. We have price action rallying in these kind of very bullish vertical spikes, followed by prolonged kind of days of consolidation. Almost a month, over a month of consolidation in some events, several weeks of downward consolidation towards support after these very aggressive kind of vertical spikes. Price action seeming to exhaust as we kind of got above this very pivotal 38-cent range. This 49-cent range came into play as we were setting these kind of like swing highs to between like 60 cents and the sort of like 70, almost 80-cent range there. Potential support could have been at that 48-cent level, but a very abrupt change in momentum sent us plummeting through some very key support zones that could have kept us more short-term bullish, and we are interacting with kind of price levels that we haven't seen since the kind of beginning of January of kind of this year. And so price action, I believe, finding support at this 24-cent level is going to be more short-term bullish. We could be very much bearish enough to consolidate toward it, but daily candles closing above this level can kind of be more bullish in the short term. Failure to hold 24 cents could send us all the way down to 16 cents levels that we haven't seen since kind of like the end of December of 2020 and kind of like end of like November of 2020. And so price action could very much be bullish enough fundamentally to hold at this level, and we could interact with these kind of like highs that we came from not too long ago very quickly, although some very technical sell pressure is present and some more downside or sideways could very much occur before the uptrend can continue. When we consider EngineeringRobo along with the Fibba-Zucchini lines of Illuminati and geometry, we can see a new perspective come into play when we consider perhaps local resistance at that 0.382 Fibonacci line at 32 cents is going to be perhaps a level we can get slapped from and sent back to potential support at 24 cents if we do bounce from that range. Say we fail to hold 24 cents, we have kind of more short-term bullish hope at the 0.236 Fibonacci line at 21 cents, more bullish than my 16 cent support level there. So I mean, say we fail to hold 24, we could bounce at 21 cents and find our way back above 24 cents and be kind of more bullish in the short term. We have a sell for and price action below the 200 daily moving average, suggesting some very high sell pressure and some perhaps more downside or sideways to occur in the short term. Although the fundamental buy pressure of Stellar at these levels I do believe is bullish enough to keep us quite perhaps even sideways if we against all the very high sell pressure. So if we were to find support on 24 cents, we can be more short-term bullish. Very high resistance above a 0.382 line, I believe, is going to be my 38 cents level there, correlating currently with a 200 daily moving average. It's going to be very high sell pressure present and a lot of resistance at that range, and we're going to have to build up a lot of momentum, I believe, to break through it. We do have price action interacting above that 200 daily moving average, attempting to find support long it. Some very crazy wicks on the 19th of May and the 23rd of May there suggested perhaps that we some more interaction below the 200 daily might occur. We could have been very more bullish in the kind of short term here and even long term if we held on the 5th and 6th of June instead of breaking downward, although we broke downward, and so got to go with the flow of the market, and we're looking to kind of find support yet again. We have that sell for price action below the 200 daily moving average. Lots of things going on for Stellar, but when we consider Stellar against the price of Bitcoin, a new perspective comes into play. We have price action attempting to find support at a rather bullish higher low relative to this bit of accumulation between the 11th of March and kind of 4th of April below this very pivotal 750 Satoshi level. I do believe moving forward that is going to be a very bullish target. We are going to have to hold to kind of secure the kind of like uptrend here in the kind of like midterm. Very significant resistance present between like 1205 Satoshi and 1286 Satoshi. We have several rejections off of that range on the 28th of November of 2020, another one at the 13th of February of 2021. We have a mini kind of rejection on the kind of like 6th and 7th of May of 2021 as well, although price action was to find its way above significant resistance in this zone and interact with a kind of upper range at around 1563 Satoshi, which was significant resistance to slap us all the way back down through potential support at that range between 1205 and 1286, but ultimately finding resistance at 1205 Satoshi brought us all the way down to my kind of significant resistance level here, my kind of short-term bearish target of 750 Satoshi. And so lots going on for the price action at the moment. We're looking a tad more bullish against the price of Bitcoin, but when we consider EngineeringRobo, along with the Fibbo Zucchini lines, we can see a new perspective come into play here. Now we do have the sell for against the price of Bitcoin, in addition to the 200 daily moving average being above kind of price action, suggesting some very high sell pressure. I do believe some resistance and sell pressure off of that level is going to be kind of pending once we do start interacting with the underside of the 200 daily. Perhaps some more local resistance at the 0.382 Fibonacci line, 840 Satoshi. Could be a level that slaps us back down to interact with that 750 again. Failure to hold that range will bring us down to perhaps support along that 0.236 Fibonacci level at 655 Satoshi, which would be a tad more bearish in the kind of short term here. So price action in a very kind of pivotal state. We do have a lot of resistance ahead of us at the 0.5 Fibonacci line. 988 Satoshi is going to be another potential point that slaps us back down to potentially confirm support along the 0.382 or the 200 daily moving average once we find our way above it. The 0.618 line at 1136 Satoshi is going to be a very significant resistance before this range between 1205 and 1286, and so definitely lots of levels we were going to have to build a lot of momentum to kind of break through before we can kind of find our way at these very crazy swing highs at my 1563 resistance. So lots going on for Stellar against the price of Bitcoin, but when we consider Bitcoin against USDT, we can see a new perspective come into play. We do have price action interacting with this very pivotal 0.5 Fibonacci line. 34,300 is a very, very pivotal level moving forward. Price action bouncing from 32K, another kind of like pivotal turning point that can allow us to be more short-term bullish. Price action above this $34,000 level can be very bullish and could potentially allow us to find our way back up to interact with this very significant resistance found at the 0.618 Fibonacci line at 41,500. Price action got close to it on the 15th of June, but we were ultimately slapped all the way back down to kind of where we are currently. We even broke the 0.5 line to kind of that 32 level, reaching all the way into the 20Ks. And so price action was looking, very bearish at that point. There's a lot of fear in the market, and we were looking like we were going to interact with that 0.382 Fibonacci level, my kind of most kind of like bearish target in the short term here. 27K was my kind of my level, although we only got to about kind of 28.8 there. So say we hold around that 34K, we can see interaction with perhaps a 0.618, but very high sell pressure could slap us all the way back down to where we came from. We're going to have to set some support along with some kind of like higher lows kind of thing and build up a lot of momentum to find our way above the 0.618, 41,500. It's very significant resistance. In addition to the underside of this 200 daily moving average, it's going to be a lot of sell pressure and a lot of traders taking profit, I believe, on the underside of those levels. We have the sell forward present against Bitcoin. We do have price action below the 200 daily moving average, so a lot of technical sell pressure is present, although the fundamental buy pressure of Bitcoin at this level, I do believe, is ever so abundant still, and could very well be present enough to keep us sideways against the very high technical sell pressure that is also here. And so we have been very bullish in what still, I believe, is a very kind of short amount of time, if you consider kind of price action at the sort of like September and October of 2020 here. This accumulation, this break upward, has been very bullish all the way up until all-time highs around 64K. So this sell-off, this sideways, this accumulation, this pullback, I believe is very bullish for Bitcoin in the long term, and is very healthy for the trend. It might be what's necessary for us to see new all-time highs or the six figures that we that aren't too far away. Now, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Try EngineeringRobo free with the link in the description. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are your thoughts on price action moving forward? What are you doing with your bag? If you have one, do you trade Bitcoin? Do you trade XLM? Are you accumulating in these lows? Are you selling your whole bag if you have one? Are you still bullish and you think there's hope for all-time highs instantly, or are we still bearish and we're plummeting to the low 20s here, the teens? Is there tons of downside ahead? Let me know your thoughts on the direction of price action moving forward. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Try EngineeringRobo free with the link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube and tune in for the next one.